All right, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about how contractors can escape the feast-or-famine cycle without having to rely on referrals, right? So the thing is, if you're being relying on word of mouth to get jobs, like you're actually one slow month away from panic. But what if you could like have qualified leads coming to you daily without actually having to spend time, begging for old clients to come and hire you, or hoping that people will actually just give you a call in that month for you to come and get jobs, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you three things, right? So what we're going to talk about is contractors why most contractors stay stuck waiting for referrals, right? And then the second thing is also the three shifts that flip my own renovation business from begging for jobs to being fully booked. And then the last one is how you can build a predictable lead flow without becoming, and like basically, and have the jobs come to you, right? So that's actually what we want at the end of the day, right? You're an expert in um, building and creating lovely spaces for people, right? You're not the marketing expert, but then there's a way you can actually get leads coming to you, just have the jobs coming to you, and then you can actually start the work, right? So basically, I was speaking to a client, like a previous, well, he's not a client yet, right? We're having like a call, and then he said well, yeah, things that he's kind of concerned about, right? So first of all, he doesn't want to worry about getting the jobs. He just wants them to come to him more often, right? So they started the company last year. They think maybe that's the issue, that people don't know about them, right? And then they've probably tried a bit of their hands on Google Ads, but they don't have any calls, nothing, right? And then I thought about it, right? Like, we actually had the same problem. We had a renovation company. I set up one like last year, basically just to prove that our system works, right? And we were kind of in the same place, right? So in this video, I'm actually going to show you how we work, right? But then let me kind of explain. Let's probably go into how this can actually affect contractors, right? So the problem is, well, if you're relying on referrals, this is probably what your job looks like, right? Like your number of jobs, right? You can actually go from 1 month, you have lots of jobs, lots of referrals, and then that comes back down. And then maybe you have some referrals in month three, and then it's like crickets for a long time. And then you might actually have another one popping up, right? So this is like a roller coaster, right? We don't want having to, have to deal with this kind of roller coaster every time. So what if you could actually have like a consistent flow of jobs, right? All through the year. This is what we're going to be talking about in this video, right? So the problem is, if you're relying on referrals and you're having the green line, like they're having the jobs coming in and like probably not being consistent, right? That's what I'm looking for, right? It's not your fault, right? The problem is, it's not your work, it's not your pricing. You don't actually have to reduce prices to be able to win jobs. The problem is, it's your lead source. Relying on word of mouth means you're letting other people decide how busy you are, right? And that's basically like a recipe for burnout, feast or famine cycles, and basically zero predictability. Like you cannot predict where your job's coming. But then the problem is, like, what people think, right? There are a lot of clients that think, okay, you know what? I'm a good craftsman, right? My craft should be able to speak for itself. But then the problem is that doesn't actually like decide how busy you are. It doesn't guarantee your pipeline, right? The the people that are the busiest, the best contractors are often not the busiest, right? That's actually what I want to say. The busiest ones are the ones that are able to actually figure out attention, right? If you're able to figure out how to control the attention of the market, right? And how to attract the right leads before they even need a quote. That's how you get it. That's how you're able to grow. And we've been able to like kind of like hack this. Well, it's not really a hack. It's just basically market research and then understanding how the market works, right? So previously, when we started the company, we were stuck relying on referrals, relying on old friends, old clients to call us. All the worst thing is actually when you actually go to back.com or Angie's list, right? or we have in Canada, I think I can't remember the other. I mean, there are a couple of all these lead aggregator services that you go to, and then you pay for leads, and then you're like number five on the list when you actually get there. By the time you call them, you're like number five, the fifth contractor calling. So what we did was like, you know what, we kind of said, you know what, we're not going to deal with this, right? We're not going to do all this, like, try to let our craft speak for us, right? What we wanted to do is we wanted to command the attention of the market, right? And then do three things, right? So the three things we're going to do like is stop chasing leads, and we built a system where the leads come to us, right? It's basically based on it's our AI growth infrastructure, right? So how that works is like we use smart content, right? We actually have a lot of videos on our Instagram that has like 6 million views. I probably show that on the calls, right? But then even though the company was new, we were able to generate like gather 60,000 followers in like 4 months. But then obviously followers is not gonna like pay the bills, right? But we're able to generate 800 leads in those 4 months as well. And then what we also implemented was basically the AI infrastructure was able to qualify all the leads automatically, right? So this is what basically these are the three things that we implemented. So we had the attention using the content, we have the AI growth infrastructure working in the background to create that content. And then we also have the AI growth infrastructure to qualify that content. And that built us up to like 600K in the space of about 4 months, right? But then what we now actually added is another step, right? We've had one more step of nurture. What we've seen is that when we have leads coming in, when we have people coming in through these methods here, we have attention, we have leads coming in, the AI is speaking to them, qualifying them. We found out that 80% of them don't engage, or 80% of them are not ready to buy right now. But that's good because we have the lead flow. We're able to convert the first 20%. That's fine. But what's going to happen to these other 80%? Right? That's where the lead nurture comes in, right? And then we're able to like send them emails, build that expertise, build the authority over time, and be able to sign up clients this way. So what this does, it gives us that consistent flow, that consistent pipeline where our lead flow looks like this blue line, right? Where our job flow, the number of jobs that we have looks like this blue line, not like the green line, right? I should have switched those colors around so that red is for the roller coaster, right? So in any case, I mean, this is how we've been able to implement this, and this is what we're actually using in our company right now, and this is what we've actually been able to implement for other clients as well too. So what we do right now is, if you have this lead flow, you have this whole system working, you have three things working for you. First of all, I don't wait for referrals, right? I don't compete on price. Like for example, the last job that we did was like an 80K renovation, like an 80K basement development and there are other people that would charge $40,000 for that in our current city, right? But what we are doing right now is every day we have booked appointments, right? That we can actually, call. Imagine waking up every day, like your Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you have appointments in your calendar, seeing 2, 3, 4, 5 new book calls from homeowners who've seen your work online. They've watched your content. They know your pricing. They know you're not like a cheap contractor. You don't chase people. You're actually choosing in this sense, right? So again, basically, if you want to see how we've been able to implement this, book a call, and yeah, there'll be a link in the description below. Let's have a chat. If you're ready to skip straight to the results, right, just book that call and then we'll show you how we can implement this for you as well too. Talk soon.